because I realized that death is over. Before, I didn't care if I lived, I didn't care if I died, I didn't care, I had no fear. So, you just learn that death is final, it's over. Whether you're young, older, in the middle, whatever. And you see mothers cry. So we just said, hey, we don't want no mothers to cry this summer.
Weaver is in his 60s, but active gang members are a lot younger. He convinces the younger Crips to talk to Bloods by changing his language. He says he no longer beats his chest and vows to kill the Bloods. That alone carries weight, he says, because he is one of them. He says he keeps his ear to the streets, and if violence is looming between the Crips and Bloods, he requests a one-on-one with the involved Crip and asks if there is another way. It can be a hard sell because so many of the Crips' friends have been put in the graveyard by Bloods, and vice versa. Linnell Brown, 54, is a Blood. His brother was killed by a Crip. His cousin also died in a gang attack. But he says he has transcended the hatred and revenge bred by those killings.
And my lesson is, try to prosper and, get your education, get your money right. Just fighting people for no reason, that's for the birds. That's for animals and savages. We human, and we should be able to live in a society without fear of each other just because of our skin color and the clothes that we wear. There's got to be something better. It's got to be. If we want everything that Rancho Penasquitos and La Jolla got, then let's try to act like them. They're not fighting each other and killing each other.
That message may be resonating. In the 8 years before the Crips and Bloods started talking, there were 15 gang-related murders on their turf, making up 25% of gang killings across the city. Then, in 2023 and 2024, there were 0 in those same neighborhoods, but 10 across the city. SDPD Lieutenant Lou Maggi says he'd like to think part of the reason for the drop is due to several large-scale police operations targeting some of the most brutal gangs and criminals in the city that have, quote, put a lot of very violent people in jail. Still, 42-year-old Cherie Hampton, who was in a Blood-affiliated gang, says outside of the massive dip in deaths, the biggest effect of the Crips and Bloods meeting regularly is an understanding
that we're the same. We want the same things in this community. Outside, if we wasn't coming together, we would never know what they want and what we want, or when would this conversation ever come about? To be like, oh, what can we do to help the community? Who was going to do that? Who was going to start trying to build and rebuild our community? It's up to us.
They are also working to open 2 drop-in centers, one in Stockton Memorial and another in Ocean View, where people, including current and former gang members, can access career counseling, job training, childcare, and mental health services. Melissa Hernandez was a member of a gang tied to the Crips. She says the services are vital to ending the Blood-Crip violence forever.
Because there's not no broken cycle yet. It keeps going on and on and on, and I'm seeing this even with young kids. I was a young one, so me being the young one, nobody was there for me, and the ones that were, they gave up too soon.